Hey guys, welcome back to Prepping in Progress. I'm Steve,
And I'm Kim,
and today we're going to be talking about.
a bug out essential, the walking stick.
So stay with us.
Like we said, the walking stick definitely should be a part of your bug out bag, your bug out plan, just in case walking is going to be a part of your bug out plan. Because we never know what circumstances are going to hit us, going off trail is might be a part of what we have to face when we're bugging out of our location. So having a good stick already prepared should be in your go kit.
Absolutely. So, yes, even if your bug out plan is to drive, throw one in your car. Have it just in case the car breaks down and you've got to walk with however much gear you have. You know, you need to do a calculation of how many days you'd be on foot, not just in your vehicle. And then consider the stick.
Now, we like using actual walking sticks as opposed to the traditional collapsible hiking stick that you see a lot of backpackers and things like that using. We prefer an actual stick, not just one we find on the ground, but one that we've actually either made or bought. We've actually purchased these from a carpenter friend, and they're good, solid, treated, and really durable. Mainly because walking is not the only thing that you could possibly be doing with these. Walking is probably the first thing. I mean, it is a walking stick after all. That's the first issue that you're going to be coming across, is needing a good walking stick to help traverse terrain. It helps distribute a lot of weight off your back if you have a heavy backpack that you're hopefully have your bug out bag. But if it is heavy, then having a good stick to help balance yourself and release some of that weight, especially going uphill, downhill, helping to steady yourself. Having a good stick, that is the first use of one of these.
It's the primary use. It's the intended use.
Of a walking stick.
The use we hope you only have to use it for.
There are a bunch of other uses that I say going with an actual stick as opposed to a collapsible hiking stick. These are actually wonderful for self-defense. Some of the earliest weapons that people have used were just sticks that they found. Now, we have been training for a few years in martial arts, for say mainly in the Japanese style, using a Japanese jo, which is this size here, and it depends on the height of the person. His is, as you can tell, a little bit bigger. So getting one custom made for your own height, what feels comfortable for you, is definitely something you want to look into instead of just, like I said, grabbing one off the ground. But like I said, being a martial arts weapon, there are many different self-defense techniques that you can use, not just say against a person coming at you, but also say a rabid squirrel. We're going to show you a few different ways that the jo, or the quarterstaff, or whatever you want to call it, the walking stick, can be used in self-defense purposes.
Now keep in mind there are two different staffs in the Japanese style. There is the bow staff, which most people have heard about, which is traditionally about 6 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
The jo staff is the shorter staff. So for those of you nitpicking, this is a jo staff.
However, I do prefer the shorter staff when hiking, mainly because if you get too tall, it tends to snag on branches and things like that. They say having one closer to about chest height seems to work better for me.
Yeah.
So, well, stay tuned, and we're going to show you a few different techniques that you can use. Okay, guys, I know what you're thinking. You're like, I have a gun. Why do I need a stick? Now, a lot of people will think, I've got a primary weapon. Why in the world would I want to use a stick as a weapon? The biggest thing is, what I like is I already have my staff handy. Now, a lot of people out there will say, well, no one's sneaking up on me. I've got great situational awareness. There's no problem with anybody doing it. The problem with that is we never know what circumstances may come out. There may be an ambush type situation. There may be any number of factors that may come in. A situation where you're conversing with somebody devolves into physical. The staff is already in your hand. It is not having to be drawn or unsheathed or unholstered. It is already a weapon at hand. Now the 21 foot rule is what comes into a lot of people's minds when they're thinking about drawing their weapon. You want to make sure you've got distance between you and the other person, so you've got time to draw your weapon before they're able to rush you or stab you or anything like that. The staff, come over here, Steve, is great for keeping a good distance. Now, say if somebody comes at you with any kind of hostile intent,
Or just hostile intent.
hostile intent, the staff is already in hand to be able to get somebody back. If
And from
somebody-
this distance, if I'm coming at her,
the staff is already going to be in your hand to at least be able to give you a few moments of time to be able to get that distance and maybe even stun your opponent in order to draw your primary weapon, whatever that primary weapon may be.
you know, we often hear, well, I've got my pistol. Your pistol is only to be drawn to and used to get you to your rifle. All right, your stick will help you get to your pistol. Stop and think about it for a minute.
Another good one is, like I said, with the knife. If I was to come at Steve, yes, it is a real blade, but I'm going to be very, very careful. We're going very slow speed, and so Steve would be able to definitely divert any kind of knife threats very quickly with the staff in hand, and quite effectively. You get a really good sturdy staff, you could possibly break somebody's arm, wrist, and maybe even knock the weapon out of their hands.
The shock that the staff will entail upon muscle, bone, and tendon and nerve is such that a good solid hit will cause the hand to release. There's more to it than that, though. If she had been coming and I could not have come to the strike, I very easily could have just extended your hand. Come here. And then from here,
Boop.
I can bop her on the head.
And definitely being able to stun your opponent, even if it's just for a few moments, for it to, like I said, to be able to get to your primary weapon if it is devolved into that kind of situation. Another thing, like I said, it is great for critters. If you have a dog that charges out quite rapidly, so say having a staff that can go very low, about knee level, quite quickly, just to be able, like I said, to buy you a few moments in order to draw your weapon. It's very versatile, and like I said, the wonderful thing is it's already in your hand. You already have it, and practicing with it, different techniques, different, somebody's coming up behind you, and being able to have ways to defend yourself. It's already here, already with you. All right, a few other uses besides self-defense. You could probably think of a million to do with a nice sturdy stick. There are great bushcrafting techniques that you can use with a stick, even just measuring out how big of branches you might need to cut and you're going out cutting branches for a shelter. Even using the stick as part of your tarp shelter.
Putting it between the branches of two trees and stringing your tarp around it, tying your tarp to it, will help you make a lean-to shelter quickly.
Like I said, there's versatile different uses that you can use with carrying a good stick around with you, not just trying to possibly look around. Because Steve, look around right now. Do you see anything that would be suitable at the moment, at hand, ready to go, that we could use for the same way that we could use our Joes that we bring with us?
Anything long enough to be used is too thin and would snap. The other pieces are dry rotted and would fall apart the moment I put my hand around it, much less if it took a blow on a person's arm or head.
And even going out and cutting one on hand, that's expending a lot of calories and a lot of energy that you could be using to build your shelter if you already have something on hand to do the work for you. So like I said, guys, definitely look into buying a really good walking stick and putting it as part of your bug out.
And in addition to buying a good stick, buying the things that you're going to use, practice with them. And that doesn't mean going out and playing Robin Hood. That means finding a good school, finding a martial artist who is actually trained to commit combat, not tournament, and who has trained in the traditional weapons, who can instill in you the knowledge, the discipline, the training to be able to know the moves, know how they work, and use them properly and efficiently on an opponent.
and effectively too. Like I said, being one of the oldest weapons out there, they say even there's some people that would sharpen the ends of it and put metal tips onto it to really have a force multiplier on their staff. That gets stuck in the mud every now and then, but having a jabbing force on one end to really stun your opponent, like I said, it is not going to kill anybody. It's not going to, well, it might, I don't know people. But the primary use for it is to buy you time, and is to buy you the ability to get to your primary weapon, whatever that weapon may be. They say if you don't feel comfortable carrying a staff because you've got a slinged gun, rifle, and that sort of thing, I would encourage you to do both. To not just carry a slinged rifle, pistol, but also incorporate the walking stick, like I said, for the multitude of reasons, not just self-defense, but the other bushcrafting ideas, as well as just the aid for having to hike very different terrain. But hopefully that'll help. Like I said, this is kind of just a short video. We're actually getting ready to head out to the swap meet. We're getting ready to head that way, so I hope y'all are going to join us. This video is going to be uploaded on Saturday. If you're not doing anything, we're probably going to be in Clarksville at the Johnson County Prepper Swap Meet. And so I hope y'all get a chance to come out there and join us, and we can
Come see us, say hi.
talk preps and also just have a really great time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and really think about incorporating the walking stick into your bug out plan.
Hey Mark, I bet that tomorrow morning you and I are going to have our second cup of coffee face to face.
All right, guys, I hope you'll like, share, subscribe, do all of the YouTube-y things, and don't forget to check us out on our Facebook page as well, where we've got lots of updates on different things that we're doing. All right, guys, y'all have a great one.
Talk to you later.